You were not born to be a slave, but from the moment you took your first breath, the world began whispering lies in your ear. They told you who you are, what you're worth, what you should fear, and who you should serve. They handed you a script, one written by systems that profit off your obedience. Go to school, memorize, obey, get a job, keep your head down, buy things you don't need. Stay safe, be quiet, don't ask why. And if you're lucky, you'll retire at 65 with just enough life left in your bones to wonder what the hell happened. This is the Matrix. And you've been plugged in since birth, not the digital illusion you saw in the movies. No, this is a real prison, a psychological one, built not with steel bars, but with distractions and comfort. You scroll, you click, you consume, and they call it freedom. But freedom isn't comfort. Freedom is clarity, it's consciousness, it's choice. And the truth is, most people don't want freedom. They want safety in a cage with velvet walls. They want the illusion of choice, while every decision is engineered. You want to escape the matrix. It won't happen by chance. It won't happen by hoping. It will happen when you decide to tear down everything that isn't you. Every fake belief, every lie you swallowed, every excuse you've hidden behind, and rebuild from the raw, real, unforgiving truth. The Matrix thrives on your sleep. So wake the hell up. Mindset is the battlefield. You don't beat the system by fighting with your fists. You beat it by reclaiming your mind. Because the Matrix doesn't enslave your body. It enslaves your thoughts. It wants you soft, compliant, addicted. It feeds you noise and sells it as entertainment. It distracts you with likes, filters, drama. Because if you ever went quiet long enough to hear your own soul, you'd burn this fake world to the ground. So stop right now. Silence everything. Can you feel it? That restlessness in your chest? That's not anxiety. That's your real self trying to break free. It's the part of you that remembers you were meant for more than working to make someone else rich, more than trading your hours for a paycheck and your dreams for approval. This matrix has you chasing symbols, money, status, validation instead of substance. You were not created to fit into a system that breaks you just to call you normal. You were born to think, to build, to suffer, to conquer, to own yourself. But you'll never own yourself until you master your belief. Belief is the prison gate and the key, because what you believe is what you become. The Matrix taught you to doubt yourself, to worship experts, to believe you're not enough unless someone else says so. It trained you to outsource your value. That ends now. You want to escape? First believe you can. Not just in words, not just in affirmations taped to your mirror. Real belief forged in pain, failure, and relentless action. Belief is not a feeling, it's a decision. And you make it every day when you get up and put in the reps when nobody's watching, when it hurts, when it's boring, when it's terrifying. And every time you do, you shatter another bar of your mental cage. The Matrix can't hold a man who knows who he is. It can't contain a woman who no longer needs permission. It falls apart when you stop obeying and start becoming. And to become, you need clarity. You need to see the lies for what they are. Comfort is the enemy. Convenience is the leash you think you're choosing. But your choices were made for you by algorithms, advertisements, and broken systems built to keep you average. Clarity is the antidote, because once you see the matrix, you can't unsee it. Ask yourself, whose voice is running your life? Whose dream are you living? Whose approval are you chasing? If the answer isn't yours, you're still plugged in. Clarity comes when you sit alone with your own thoughts. Without the noise, without the screen, without the validation. It's ugly, it's painful, but it's real. And real is rare in this world. Once you have clarity, the matrix starts to panic, because now you're dangerous. Now you ask questions. Now you break patterns. And with clarity comes vision. Vision is the blueprint of freedom. Without it, you'll chase every shiny thing the matrix throws at you. You'll run in circles, confusing movement for progress. But vision gives direction. It turns chaos into fuel. Don't just have goals. Goals are for the system. Goals are safe. You need a mission. Something that sets your bones on fire. Something that makes you get up at 4 a.m. Because sleeping feels like betrayal. A mission is bigger than money. It's bigger than pain. It's something you bleed for. Something you build with your life. Vision cuts through the fog. When you see who you could be and what you could build, every distraction becomes a threat. Every comfort becomes poison. Every excuse becomes blasphemy. But even vision means nothing without discipline. Discipline is the sword that severs you from the matrix. You don't break free by wanting to be free. You break free by waking up when it's dark, showing up when you're tired, grinding when no one claps, and choosing pain when comfort whispers your name. Discipline is freedom in motion. It's the brutal daily war against weakness. It's saying no when your mind begs for yes. It's being your own master, not once, but every damn day. They trained you to think discipline is suffering, that is punishment. But the truth is, comfort is the real pain, the slow decay of a life unlived, the quiet regret of potential wasted. That's suffering. Discipline is the path. And on that path, you become the kind of person the matrix can't touch. Not because you're perfect, but because you're untouchable. Untouchable to fear, untouchable to failure, untouchable to weakness. Because you no longer run from it, you hunt it. That's the secret the system hides from you. The path out isn't in running away from pain, it's in running toward it. Chin up, eyes open. No mercy, you face your demons. You walk through fire and you learn pain isn't the enemy. Pain is your refiner. It burns off the false layers. It reveals the steel underneath. So don't flinch, don't back down. When it hurts, lean in. Because while everyone else is numbing, scrolling, escaping, you are transforming. You're building the kind of mind that can't be manipulated. The kind of will that doesn't bend. The kind of soul that doesn't sell. And here's the paradox. The more pain you embrace, the more power you earn. The more you suffer on purpose, the less you suffer by accident. The more you train your mind, the less the world can control it. The matrix cannot enslave a man who chooses his suffering because he's already free. That's what they don't want you to know, that you were always free. You just forgot. You were taught to forget. You were born with fire in your chest. But they fed you fear until it turned to smoke. You were born with hunger in your soul. But they fed you comfort until you forgot what it felt like to be starving for something greater. But that hunger is still in you. Buried maybe, but not dead. It's waiting. Waiting for you to remember. Remember who the hell you are. Not the name they gave you. Not the label you wear. Not the resume or the profile pic or the grades or the job title. I mean you, the real you, the one who dreams in silence, the one who bleeds in the dark, the one who has nothing left to prove because he already knows he's built for war, built for greatness, built to break out. That version of you, it doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for approval. It doesn't blend in, fit in, or dumb itself down. It builds, it rises, it executes, it dominates. So build, start today. No roadmap, no applause, no guarantee, just vision, belief, and blood. The matrix wants you soft, so get hard. It wants you comfortable, so get dangerous. It wants you average, so get unreasonable. Read what others won't, lift what others can't, push when others quit. Do it alone, do it tired, do it scared, but do it. And when you do, when you decide to become the weapon, not the victim, something shifts. You start moving different, thinking different. You don't just escape the matrix, you outgrow it. You become something too big to be contained. And suddenly, the world doesn't make sense anymore, not because it changed, but because you did. You become a mirror. And when people look at you, they see everything they could be and everything they're not. That's why they'll hate you, mock you, try to break you. Let them, because you're not here to fit in. You're here to wake people up with your life, with your grind, with your refusal to settle. Now you know the truth. Freedom isn't comfort. It's not ease. It's not smiling every day and chasing dopamine hits like a lab rat trained by his master. Freedom is earned, and it comes wrapped in struggle, pain, and sacrifice. See, the Matrix trains you to believe freedom means do whatever you want. But that's a lie. That kind of freedom is slavery dressed in convenience. Real freedom is doing what's necessary, even when it's hard, even when it costs you, even when no one understands. You rise before the world wakes, not because you have to, but because you choose to. You train your mind until it no longer flinches. You train your body until it becomes a weapon. You train your soul until even death looks at you and hesitates. This is what it means to escape. Thank you very much for watching. Motherfucker, stay hard.